What if I told you that everything you need to restore strong, lasting erections is already inside you? No prescriptions, no side effects, no invasive procedures. Just you, your own body, doing what it was always designed to do. I know it's hard to believe, but stay with me. I'm Dr. Michael Bennett. I've spent over 30 years walking alongside men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Men who quietly ask the same question: is it too late for me? And every time, my answer is the same: absolutely not. In fact, your body already holds a natural blueprint for intimacy. And sometimes, all it takes is a gentle nudge to wake it up. Somewhere along the way, men's health became all about pills, quick fixes, and commercial solutions. But here's the truth. Your body isn't broken. It's just overwhelmed. Stress, aging, and disconnection can slowly dull the systems that once worked like magic. But here's the good news. Those systems can be reawakened. Today, I want to share with you a simple method that does exactly that. No supplements, no surgery. All you need is your own two hands and a few quiet moments before intimacy. It's called tapping. A gentle technique based on ancient acupressure and supported by modern neuroscience. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Tapping? Really? I thought the same thing when I first heard about it. But over the years, I've watched men who had nearly given up find new confidence, deeper connection, and yes, stronger performance. All by learning to reconnect with their bodies in a way they never had before. This isn't hype. This isn't a miracle cure. It's about honoring the wisdom that's already built into your biology and learning how to work with it instead of fighting against it. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 simple tapping points. They can help restore blood flow, awaken arousal, and shift your nervous system back into its natural green light mode. Are you ready to rediscover the version of yourself you thought was gone? Because he's still there. He's just waiting for you to invite him back. Before I show you exactly where to tap, let's take a moment to understand why this works so well. Because once you understand what's really happening inside your body, you won't just believe in it. You'll start to feel it. After 60, your body doesn't respond to arousal the way it used to, but the issue isn't just low testosterone. It goes deeper than that. It's your nervous system, your blood flow, your stress levels, and how all of those work together, especially in the quiet moments before intimacy. Have you noticed how, when you're anxious or distracted, your body seems to shut down? That's not an accident. When your mind is stressed, your body flips into what we call the fight or flight mode. Your heart rate increases, your blood vessels tighten, and blood gets pulled away from areas your body doesn't consider essential, like your genitals. This is where tapping becomes powerful. When you gently tap on certain pressure points, you send a clear message to your body. You're safe. You can relax. It's time to connect. Tapping activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, what I like to call your body's green light mode. This system slows your heart rate, opens up your blood vessels, and calms your mind. And here's the secret. Erections don't happen in stress mode. They happen when your body is calm, present, and open to connection. Over the years, I've seen men, frustrated for decades, finally experience real change. Not because they took a magic pill, but because their body was finally given permission to work the way it was meant to. And the best part? Tapping is free. No prescriptions, no risks, no side effects. Just you, learning how to reconnect with the body you've lived in all your life. So if you've been wondering whether your body still knows how to respond, the answer is yes, it does. You just have to show it how to begin again. In the next part, I'll reveal the first tapping point, a spot just below your navel that holds more power than you might expect. Stay with me. Now let's begin. The first tapping point I want to share with you is one of the most powerful on the entire body. It's called CV6, or as ancient practitioners have long referred to it, the sea of energy. And once you begin using it, you'll understand why. This point is located about 2 finger widths below your belly button, right in the center of your lower abdomen. It might not look like much at first glance, but trust me, this is where a lot of untapped power lives. I remember one of my patients, Walter. He was 72 when he first came to see me. He'd spent years quietly struggling, believing that his best days were behind him. When I showed him this point and explained how to tap it, he looked at me skeptically and asked, "You mean just here?" I nodded. "That's it." But when he actually tried it, something began to shift. You see, this area of the body is rich in blood vessels and nerves connected directly to your pelvic region. In both Eastern and Western medicine, we now know that this part of the body plays a central role in sexual vitality, energy storage, and emotional grounding. When you gently tap this point, about 1 minute is all it takes. You begin stimulating blood flow toward the groin. But more than that, you begin easing physical and emotional tension. Many men carry stress, shame, or even grief in this lower region, sometimes without even realizing it. That's why I tell my patients, don't just tap mechanically, tap with intention. As you do it, breathe deeply. Visualize energy waking up. Feel warmth returning. Feel blood flowing again to places that have felt asleep for too long. You may notice a soft tingling or heat beginning to build. That's the sea of energy rising. It's a quiet, masculine power, not forced, not rushed, but invited. Try it tonight. Just you, your breath, and this gentle rhythm below your navel. In the next section, we'll move to a point that helps balance this rising energy by calming the mind and quieting the mental noise that often gets in the way. Now that we've activated the sea of energy in your lower abdomen, it's time to bring balance to that rising energy. Because even with strong blood flow, if the mind is full of worry, the body won't follow. This second point is called K1, or the bubbling spring. You'll find it on the sole of your foot, just below the ball. It may seem like an unlikely place to focus for sexual vitality, but this point speaks directly to one of the biggest challenges older men face: anxiety. Let me tell you about George. He was 68 when he came to me. Physically, everything checked out. Good circulation, decent hormone levels, but every time he got close to intimacy, his thoughts would race, his chest would tighten, and the moment would slip away. He said it felt like his mind and body were in two different rooms. That's when I introduced him to K1. When you tap or press gently on this point, you send a calming signal through your entire system. K1 connects to the kidney meridian in traditional medicine. But more importantly, it grounds your energy. Think of it like this. If CV6 brings energy up, K1 helps anchor it down, so you don't get mentally overwhelmed. George started tapping K1 each night, just 20 to 30 seconds per foot. Within a week, he told me his thoughts had quieted. His breathing was deeper. He felt more connected. And for the first time in years, he looked forward to intimacy instead of dreading it. There's something powerful about touching your feet. It draws your awareness out of your head and into your body. And for many men, that's exactly where the healing begins. Not with a pill, but with presence. So here's what I want you to try. After tapping CV6, sit down comfortably and tap gently on each foot, right where the ball meets the arch. Breathe slowly. Feel yourself settle, because when the body is calm, the heart can open. In the next part, we'll complete this energetic circuit by moving to a point most men never expect. Right at the top of your head, we've now awakened the body and grounded the energy. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we can't ignore: the mind. No matter how good your blood flow is, no matter how strong your desire, if your mind is stuck in overthinking, shame, or fear, it can block everything. That's why this third tapping point is so powerful. It's called GV20, also known as the 100 meetings, and it sits quietly at the very top of your head. I remember a man named Richard. He was 72. And during our first session, he said, "Doc, my body's willing, but my mind just won't follow." He looked healthy, even calm, on the outside. But behind his eyes, I saw years of mental noise, doubts, past failures, silent questions like, am I enough? What if I can't? For men like Richard, and maybe for you, GV20 is essential. In traditional medicine, this point is where all the body's energy pathways converge. But even beyond that, when you tap gently at the crown of your head, you're inviting your mind to return to the present. Urutarchen, that matters more than you might think. Ututarchen. So many men carry invisible tension in their thoughts, worries about performance, memories of disconnection, fears of being judged. And that mental stress creates real, physical shutdown. The body might be ready, but the brain slams on the brakes. Tapping GV20 creates a pause, a reset. Just 20 to 30 seconds of soft tapping at the top of your head, paired with a few deep breaths. And something shifts. Your thoughts begin to slow. You stop bracing. You start listening to your body again. Richard told me that tapping GV20 gave him more than better intimacy. It gave him peace of mind. And for many men, that's what's been missing all along. So tonight, after tapping your lower belly and your feet, bring your awareness upward. Find the crown of your head, right at the center. Tap gently. Breathe. Be here. Because true intimacy doesn't start in the body. It begins in the mind. If this message is starting to resonate with you, and you'd like to keep learning more about natural ways to restore your energy and confidence, go ahead and click subscribe. That way you won't miss what's coming next. In the next part, I'll show you how to bring all three of these points together into one simple, flowing ritual. Now that we've worked with the body and calmed the mind, it's time to address something more subtle, but just as important: emotional safety. Because here's the truth most men don't talk about. Sometimes, what shuts us down isn't just physical or mental, it's emotional. A quiet tension in the heart, a fear of failure, a hesitation to be vulnerable, even with someone we trust. That's why I want to introduce you to the fourth tapping point, PC6, known as the inner gate. This point sits on the inside of your wrist, about 3 finger widths below the crease, right between the 2 tendons you can feel when you flex your hand. In Eastern medicine, PC6 is closely connected to the heart and pericardium channels, and it's used to calm the spirit, ease anxiety, and regulate emotional balance. In modern terms, it helps regulate your nervous system, especially when it's stuck in overdrive from years of accumulated stress. Let me tell you about Dennis. He was 66, and though his physical health was fine, he confessed something to me in a quiet voice. I just can't relax when it matters most. Not because of pain or low desire, but because his chest would tighten, his thoughts would spiral, and a quiet fear would settle in. When I showed Dennis how to tap PC6, something shifted. He said it felt like he was giving his heart permission to soften, and that, right there, is the magic of this point. Tapping here sends a gentle signal to your nervous system. You're safe. You don't have to brace. It's a reminder that intimacy isn't a performance, it's a moment of trust. And trust begins in the heart. So here's how to use it. With your opposite hand, gently tap or press this point on your inner wrist for 30 to 60 seconds. Breathe slowly. If it helps, place your free hand over your chest as you do it. Feel the connection. You're not fixing anything. You're simply inviting your body to relax into the moment. And in the next part, we'll visit a lesser-known point along the inner leg that unlocks deeper energy from within. There's a quiet strength inside every man, a kind of inner fire that doesn't fade with age, but sometimes gets buried beneath stress, fatigue, and quiet disappointment. The fifth and final tapping point I want to share with you is one that helps reignite that internal flame. It's called SP6, also known as the 3-yin intersection. You'll find it on the inner side of your lower leg, about 4 finger widths above the inner ankle bone. This point is famous in Eastern medicine because it connects 3 major energy channels: spleen, liver, and kidney. Together, they support vitality, hormone balance, and deep physical restoration. Now, I know that might sound abstract, so let me make it real. I had a patient named Mark. He was 74, and he told me, "I don't just feel tired in my body, I feel tired in my spirit." He'd been through a tough divorce, a health scare, and years of feeling disconnected, not just from others, but from himself. When I introduced him to SP6, I said, "This point isn't about performance. It's about coming home to yourself." So he started tapping it each night, just 1 minute per leg, breathing slowly as he did. And after about a week, he said something I didn't expect. "I feel grounded again. I feel like me." You see, tapping SP6 helps pull energy up from the lower body, awakening the systems that restore strength, stamina, and emotional resilience. It's a quiet kind of power, not the kind that pushes, but the kind that sustains. To find it, sit comfortably. Place 4 fingers above your inner ankle bone. The point is just behind the shin bone, on the soft muscle area. Tap gently for about a minute. You may feel warmth, tingling, or a subtle sense of grounding. And as you do, remember this, you're not fixing what's wrong. You're reconnecting to what's already right inside you. With all 5 tapping points now introduced, we're ready to bring them together into one smooth, flowing practice. It's a 90-second ritual that has helped countless men feel more alive, more confident, and more whole. I'll show you exactly how to do that in the next part. Now that you've been introduced to all 5 tapping points, CV6, K1, GV20, PC6, and SP6, it's time to bring them together into a single, flowing practice. This is where the real magic happens. I call it the sequence tap. It takes just 90 seconds. But in those 90 seconds, something shifts. Not just in your body, but in how you feel about yourself. You're not rushing. You're not panicking. You're creating a moment of respect for your body, your energy, and your presence as a man. Here's how it works. Start by placing your fingertips just below your navel on CV6, the C of energy. Gently tap for 30 to 60 seconds while breathing deeply. Feel your lower body begin to wake up. Next, move to SP6 on the inner side of your lower leg. Tap one leg at a time for 30 seconds each. As you do, imagine that you're drawing up strength from deep within your core. Then, shift your focus to GV20 at the crown of your head. Tap softly with one or both hands for 20 to 30 seconds. Let your thoughts slow. Let your breath deepen. Now go to K1, the soles of your feet. Sit comfortably and tap each foot just beneath the ball where the arch begins. This helps you ground all the energy you've activated above. Finally, end at PC6 on the inside of your wrist. Tap gently while placing your free hand over your heart. Breathe, connect, feel. That's it. Just 90 seconds. 5 points. And a quiet return to who you really are. One of my patients said this became his favorite part of the day, not because of the results in the bedroom, but because it gave him back something he thought he'd lost, the feeling of being whole again. Try this practice for 1 week, before bed, before intimacy, or whenever you need to feel grounded, steady, and alive. In the next part, I'll walk you through a simple 7-day plan to make this part of your life and help you start seeing results that last. You now understand more about your body and your energy than most men ever will. But knowledge alone isn't what changes us. Practice is. That's why I want to help you take the next step. Here's a simple 7-day plan to make the sequence tap part of your life. Not as a chore, but as a quiet, meaningful habit. Day 1 to day 3, set the rhythm. Start by setting aside just 2 minutes before bed or before intimacy. Use the sequence tap exactly as we practiced. CV6, SP6, GV20, K1, and PC6. Take 3 deep, relaxed breaths between each point. You're not aiming for perfection, just presence. Notice how your body responds. Even subtle changes matter. Day 4 to day 5, tune into yourself. By now, the tapping will start to feel more natural. This is when you can begin to pay closer attention to what's shifting, not just physically, but emotionally. Do you feel a little more confident? A little more present in your body? Write down one observation each day, even if it's small. Awareness will deepen the impact. Day 6 to day 7. Share the practice. Optional. If you feel ready, share this ritual with your partner. Tap together, or simply tell them what you've been doing. Many of my patients say that opening this part of themselves deepened connection far beyond the bedroom, into trust, affection, and conversation. Beyond 7 days, keep it going. This isn't a magic trick. It's a return to rhythm. Like brushing your teeth, it becomes more powerful the more consistently you do it. And the beauty is, it costs nothing. It's already yours. You have a body that's wiser than you think. You have tools in your hands. And now, you have a practice to come back to anytime you feel disconnected, discouraged, or unsure. What you do this week could be the beginning of a new relationship with yourself, one built on trust, presence, and quiet confidence. In the final part, I want to leave you with something deeper than a technique, a truth that every man over 60 deserves to hear. If there's one thing I hope you take from this experience, it's this. Your age does not define your desire, your strength, or your right to enjoy deep, satisfying intimacy. Too many men over 60 have quietly come to believe that their best years are behind them. That fading erections or lost connection are just part of the price of aging. I don't believe that. And neither should you. You've learned something here that most men will never hear. You've discovered that your body still holds the blueprint for connection and confidence. And all it takes is a few quiet, intentional taps to bring it back online. But more than that, this has been about reclaiming a part of yourself. A part that may have been buried under shame, silence, or self-doubt for too long. The part of you that still wants to feel, to lead, to love. And I want you to hear me clearly. It is not too late. Not for joy. Not for intimacy. Not for a new story to begin. You now have a method. A plan. A way to reconnect with your body, your partner, and most importantly, yourself. So don't walk away from this message thinking about what you've lost. Walk away thinking about what you're about to regain. Your power, your presence, your pride. If this message spoke to you, if it gave you hope, clarity, or even just a moment of reflection, then I'd love for you to join this growing community. Click subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Hit like if this message meant something to you. Leave a comment. You can just type, "I'm ready" if you're taking that first step. Share this with a friend who might need to hear it, because your story isn't finished. In fact, the most intimate chapter may be just beginning. And I'll be right here, walking with you,